Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to Think Wrestling. My name is Tom and this is Talking Wrestling. That's a bit of a tongue twister. I'm here with Eliza Roux. So Eliza, first of all, thank you very much for joining me. I know this has been this is quite difficult to get all this set up because I'm not actually in my usual place. I'm normally upstairs, but there's a party going on, so I'm backstage and I've got an audience, so if at any point I get distracted, it's because of them behind the camera who you can't see. Hello. Anyway, Live, thank you for joining me. So first off,
it's okay.
So I want to so you've got a sort of if I'm remembering correctly, it's a sort of your you are everyone's favourite gimmick, basically, is it?
Yes.
That's your big thing, isn't it? That's what you try to go for. So I want to know is where did the idea for that come from?
Okay, so originally, I still kind of go under the gimmick of your favourite, and I think coming into 2019, I wanted to almost do an evolution where I change everything about myself and become everybody's favourite.
Which you did mention in the video promo you did for Pro Wrestling Strategy, didn't you? You said, like, I'm going to become everyone's favourite, not just.
And I think at first it did kind of come out of a joke. So I don't want to. I don't know whether I should say this or not.
Oh, go on, you could say it.
Well, basically, it started because I think so I'll just say through our kind of every training school has kind of some issues, and I think that at one point there was this talk of favoritism going on. So I took it upon myself, and because I don't take it really seriously, like I train because I love doing it, so I just took it and was like, oh, I know what I'll do.
I'll be everyone's favourite.
I'll be your favourite. So I took it from that, really, and then going into this year, I was like, I haven't really expanded as much as I wanted to. So I thought, whilst I'm going through that journey professionally, I might as well tie it into my gimmick.
Into a gimmick can become everyone's favourite,
Exactly. So whether they love me or they hate me, I'm their favourite in some way. So that was my idea of it, I suppose.
I should also point out there can be a lot of background noise because there's like some event going on in the room next door.
Yeah, I mean, that guy has really cool hair.
Is it better than mine though?
No.
Thank you.
No.
That was my answer. I would have legit stopped to do right there and said, right, you're out.
No, see, this is how this is how I'll win you over.
Yes. It's sort of, I don't want to say this, but it is working actually, so
this is fine.
So there is some stuff going on in the next room, and we are backstage, so if at any point you hear talking that isn't from me or Eliza, then at least you know why. Hopefully it won't be that much, but there's also a training seminar going on through there, and
it looks real intense. Real intense. I'm not sure whether I'd.
I was asked, why aren't you do it? Because it seems a lot like something that everyone could benefit from in some way, even if you're like a veteran, you know. Yeah,
of course. Honestly, I am saving all of my wages because I'm moving house next year.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
So everything I'm getting from work is going into getting a new house.
But that's fair. Especially, they're not cheap movements. So
no, and it looked, to be fair, from what I've seen, it looks very, very intense, and it definitely would be something that I benefit from, because especially with it being a lucha style, that's not something that I usually do.
I think that's something that's always confusing me with whether it's training seminars or just regular training classes things, is the styles of them. Because I always think if it's not, it must be so difficult. Oh, sorry. There might be some slight feedback coming from these, by the way, because I am using these to make sure that there's no massive feedback from the microphone. So if it sounds a bit weird, then that's why. But hopefully it doesn't.
Hopefully not.
I have taken all precautions to make sure this doesn't sound as shit as some of the others.
Oh no, it's fine.
and that's Thomas James Guy who just walked through the just shouted. Anyway, yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's always confused me as to how you choose your style, and based on the training that you do. That has always seemed massively complex to me.
I think I found what I enjoyed doing most. So I'm not massively high flyer, because I'm terrified of heights.
Oh god, so I got not the only one.
When I go to the top rope, and I do occasionally go there, it isn't for anything where I'm going to do any
like a phoenix splash off, like a triple moonsault.
Obviously, that would be something that I do really enjoy that style of wrestling.
It's great to watch, but not so fun to get up and do it yourself.
Yeah, because I am genuinely terrified up there. So I tend to. The way I kind of figured out what I wanted was, as I was going through my training, there were certain aspects that I really enjoyed. Like, I really enjoyed the technical wrestling side of it. So I focused on that for a little while. And then once I'd figured out, I tried my new finish, and I was like, actually, I really enjoyed that. And then I based a lot of my offense around my finish. So my finish is a slingshot, single leg Boston. So a lot of the stuff that I do is towards that kind of region. And then when I started... because this is probably something I shouldn't say as well, but when
you can say it, don't worry.
When I first started training, I wasn't massively into going to the gym, and it was definitely wrestling that got me into going to the gym.
I don't think that's a massively unpopular thing to say. I think there's still so many people who think
I know, but like, when you
gym.
think of wrestlers, you think, oh, damn, they've got loads of muscles and they're definitely going to be really strong. And there was me. I rocked up at the age of 20. I wasn't necessarily skinny, but I wasn't out of shape, so I was just kind of there.
sort of
just there. And then once I kind of built my strength up a little bit, I kind of found that I was, especially with my height, I was a lot taller than a lot of female wrestlers at the minute. So I kind of did a lot more power moves, and I kind of worked that into my offense, and I think that's kind of how I did it. It's what I enjoyed doing more, because as much as I do enjoy trying the lucha style, it isn't something I'm really good at, and I'd rather go out there and do something I'm good at and I can entertain with, than go out there and do something that
may or may not work,
and then the crowd are like, oh.
Yeah, I can say it's always a massive risk doing something that you're not quite sure on, isn't it? Because if it, especially with the luch stuff, if it works, it looks fantastic. If it doesn't work, it can ruin the entire match.
The slightest thing goes wrong, and it's all ruined. And you're like,
the slightest thing goes wrong, and it's not just that little bit. It gets down the entire match out. So there's a lot of pressure on. So it's one of those things that if you're not 100% confident what you're doing, and I've always thought, I mean, you probably know more about this than what you do know more about this than I do. When you do go up to the top rope thing, how high is it? Because I always think it doesn't look that high.
Honestly,
but I think when you're up there, it look like.
When I am up there, I am terrified. I feel like I'm on top of like this skyscraper.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Essentially, I mean, the top rope is kind of maybe me and a bit of me.
Yeah.
But when you're up there, because obviously you've got the ring, and then you've got the rope. So like, if you're doing anything to the outside, that's no. That's just a no.
Yeah. Well,
so I love watching it. Again, I'll say it, like I do love watching it, and I admire it so much.
Yeah.
But
doing it is just something else entirely, isn't it?
Entirely different.
Yeah. Well,
so I just want it to be a bit more of a base, I think.
Yeah, I think that if you can at least go to even to take a move, then I think you at least need to know how to do that, but maybe not necessarily to go and be doing all this like Hurricane Rana, Dragon Rana stuff off the top.
I'll leave that to the high flyers.
People who know what they're doing, and the people who can do it without breaking their neck.
Yes, exactly. I'd rather not get injured.
I think that's avoiding injury is a good way to go, I think.
Yeah, I'd like my career to last a little bit.
I think that's a good. I think wanting your career to last a while longer, not breaking neck, is always a good thing to aim for.
Yes, it is.
So, what I'm ask is, when exactly did you get into wrestling? And when I say that, I don't mean like when did you choose to become or train to be a wrestler. I mean, what was your first memory? And when I say I don't mean what got you into it, I mean literally the first thing you had. So it could have been something that you completely hated.
Okay.
So going back some years now,
it is.
This is a question that always throws people, because they always spend 5 minutes thinking, oh crap, what was it again?
It really is.
It throws me as well. So
when I first started watching it, it was because my dad watched it.
Yeah.
And honestly, the first thing that I can kind of remember is, I want to say either, because I know I watched a lot of Trish and Lita, but
Yeah.
the
Again,
only thing
the
I
two
really
staple
remember
people, yeah.
isn't those two. Like, I remember watching them,
Yeah.
kind of, but growing up it was more, I watched a lot of TNA.
Oh,
Because,
that's the first.
well, we didn't have Sky channels.
That,
So
yeah.
I watched a lot of TNA growing up because
Yeah.
that was the channels we had.
Yeah.
So we moved from where I was living at the time, and we moved to Grantham. And then when we moved, we went to Virgin Media instead of Sky.
Yeah.
So I lost all my Sky channels, and then I kind of discovered TNA. And to be fair, at that point, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I must have moved when I was about 10, so it was like 2004 onwards, 2005 onwards.
Yeah.
So it was decent then.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of Gail Kim. Gail Kim massively inspired me,
Yeah.
and it was her more than anyone.
I think she was
But-
is it the knockout?
Yes.
Yeah, I think she was their biggest draw, wasn't she? I think
Yes,
the
she
people who got
was.
the most attention for them.
So it was TNA that kind of got me into it. But I do
Yeah.
remember watching little bits back where I used to live on Sky. But I don't massively remember because I must have been really young then.
Yeah, well, I guess to say, the younger you are, the harder it is to
Yes.
remember. Like, I was lucky because I got into it and I was quite a bit older. Like when I was in year 7 or year 8. No, year 8. So I've got no idea
Oh,
what.
you were really young then. I think you must have been like 11 or 12.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, I can't remember the way the age and score systems rank at all, but I just know
Yeah.
that I was old enough to remember what got me into it. So, and it was
Yes.
obviously The Rock, as it is with every human being who's ever watched wrestling, pretty much. So, I do like that you didn't get into it with TNA, because no one has ever said to me that they got into it with TNA. It's always been
Honestly,
WWE.
if you look back at that kind of era and you watch back old AJ Styles matches,
Yeah.
and the tag team division at that time, it was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I mean, it gets a lot of hate because I don't know why it gets a lot of hate. I should say because I don't know why it just gets a lot of hate. I say that I've never watched TNA religiously.
No,
so
to be fair,
I'm not an expert on how good or bad it is, but it doesn't look as bad as people make out to be.
no, I think it had a really, really good patch.
Yeah.
From 2004 onwards, and then there was something where it wasn't, people perceived it to be, I'm not going
Yeah.
to say it was any worse because obviously they're on TV and I'm not.
Yeah.
There was a point where the product was perceived by the fans to be not as good. It's got so good lately. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the stuff going on at the minute.
Well, here's the thing: is that as a general rule, I
revamp.
don't watch much wrestling on TV, and I know that sounds really, really bad for. It's just because I enjoy watching it. Not only do I enjoy watching wrestling live, I prefer that much more to get involved with it. But I don't watch wrestling on TV unless I'm with someone. So I think it's so boring watching a match, watching a great match by yourself and thinking that's good, but
I can't discuss this with anybody.
I like talking about it, so I don't. So I've never watched TNA. I very rarely now watch WWE because it's gone down the. But that's just subjective. that's just you can.
That's a
have
subjective.
That's a subjective opinion.
Yes.
But if you disagree with me, then you're wrong. What was that?
Pun intended.
That's why I did it. I suppose.
Please leave.
To be fair, I'm the same. I'll watch a lot of it with my housemate, and I watch a lot of it with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because he often forces me to watch it. Which
That's just me being a good boyfriend, to be honest.
I'm grateful for it, and
Yeah.
especially because we watch a lot of the indie stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
So I get to see what everyone else is doing as well.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily take influence from that. I kind of
Yeah.
figure out what they're not doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, right, okay, well, there's already someone out there doing this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that because they're already doing it and they're doing it so well. So
Yeah,
actually,
so
I'll
it's
go
a sort
do
of
this.
case of not wanting to overwork things, not wanting to do things so common, but, because every good thing has an expiration date. I mean, I think Phoenix Splashers are incredible, as I keep saying. If I saw every single match, I'd get so bored of them. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I feel like the card should be mixed entirely.
yeah, and have a mix of styles and I
Yes.
think if you're gonna watch the same thing over again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it just gets so boring and repetitive.
Yeah, I think it would be. I like seeing. For me, if I could put together my ideal wrestling show,
Yeah.
it would have a mix of high flying. Then obviously you'd have two big guys because that's always entertaining.
Oh, that, yeah.
And then
I've just seen those weird like clotheslines and near them going down.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'd have like a little bit of comedy because I love comedy wrestling.
Oh yeah, I
really
love that.
do.
But that gets so much hate online, doesn't it?
Of course it does, but it's entertaining and often.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to name drop here because I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. But
Oh,
I'm
you
going
can do that, yeah.
One of my favourite wrestlers to watch is called Flex Buffington.
Oh
And he
yes, is he the guy who draws the abs on himself?
Yeah, he draws the abs on himself, and he is one of the most funny people I've met. But that guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's so good at technical wrestling.
Yeah.
He's so good at like the acrobatic stuff as well, but people don't know that.
Yeah, because his gimmick overshadows everything he does.
Yeah, I think often comedy wrestling does get a bad name.
Yeah, I think
Because I think sometimes people might perceive it as being a little bit lazy, but actually, you can work that into being a good wrestler as well.
I think it's so difficult to do that because making the crowd laugh is so difficult.
Yes, but if I can make that crowd laugh, I have done my job.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not a comedy wrestler, but if I was, then if I've made them laugh, happy
that's
days.
your job done, yeah.
Am I your favourite comedy wrestler?
You're the only comedy wrestler that I know, so I can't really say no to that. Actually, no, you're not. I'm talking to this. Oh, I've annoyed him now. Well, that's it. Okay, so you won't be getting an interview with Ryan Pat then. He's walking out on me. Yeah, right. What I do want to ask you, right? So you mentioned that it was TNA. That was your first memory of it.
Yes.
But what was it that sort of flicked that switch in your brain that made you decide you wanted to pursue this as a career?
Oh gosh. Okay.
That's another some people always trip up on.
Oh no, this one's really simple actually.
Oh, okay.
I was going through a really, really tough time, and I must have been about the age of 20.
Yeah.
And I'd just gone through something really, really bad, and I wasn't in the best place of mind.
Yeah.
So my best friend at the time had just started training in Lincoln, and he knew, like, we'd watch WrestleMania together, we'd hang out all the time, and we'd talk about wrestling. And then he just messaged me one day and was like, "I'm training. I want to get you out of the house.
Yeah.
Do you want it to come?" So I was like,
Yeah.
"Right, okay." Sure. And by the time we drove up, and he'd literally just parked his car, and the space between the car and the doors to the building was probably, obviously they can't see this, but was probably from here to the end of, like, halfway through that hall.
Oh yeah.
I had 2 panic attacks
before
I'd got to that.
Yeah.
So it was bad.
That's really not good. Okay, for those at home, right, there's probably about I'd say a good maybe 10 meters ish to this room.
I mean, it wasn't that far.
Yeah, that's really short distance if you're having 2 panic attacks.
Yeah, so I kind of got halfway and I was like, I can't do it, and then kind of forced myself to get to where there was people queuing to get in, and they were really nice and they were really friendly, and I think from that session I think we just did technical wrestling, but I fell in love with it from there, and I knew that it was something I'd always thought about doing, but I just didn't know that it was in England.
Oh yeah.
In all honesty, I had no idea there was a UK scene.
Yeah.
Because I watched all the American stuff, and I knew there was some stuff kind of elsewhere in the world, but I seeing Paige on TV, I was like, well, where did she train?
Yeah.
Like, what? How did this happen? So
yeah, I think the thing is you always assume they're quite out of nowhere.
Yes.
You always assume they just magically appear, and they're somehow there. They have no origin, they're just there.
How have you got here?
Yeah.
So to be fair, I would have started sooner if I'd have known it was there. But I think at that point in time, especially because where I lived at that time, I just had no idea, and to be fair, I didn't really know who anyone in the British scene was. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I was massively ignorant about the British independent scene when I first heard about it, because my assumption, and I will apologise for this being what I thought British wrestling was, but my assumption back then I was a AEW fanboy, so and my assumption was if they're not on WTV, then they're obviously not good.
Yeah,
basically that was my assumption, and I'll probably will get some hate for that. But sure, my mentality has changed from that. I know that often the best wrestlers aren't on WWE. You know, take Will Ospreay for example.
I think it's hard because, like, from watching the American stuff, you kind of just do assume that everything else isn't going to be as good because there's such a big TV product. So I suppose it's not really an ignorant thought. It's just people just need to research into it a bit
Yeah,
more.
they do. And I was massively overwhelmed when I first
They
went.
just need an education, don't they?
They do, yeah, they do need, and it drives me mad when I see people saying that that they're obviously not as good because they've not been contacted by the WWE. Like they were saying that, like I saw people saying that about like Tyler LeBay like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now look where he is. So
This is my point. I think WWE, I think, is probably the end goal for everybody in wrestling.
well, production-wise, yeah.
But like they have such a following that no one is, in my opinion, no one is going to not benefit from being there at some
Yeah.
point, because you're going to constantly be known. Or they were on WWE, whether
Yeah.
it was good or bad, that's attached
Yeah,
to you.
so you're either known as people who are there or who were there.
Yeah, like I have. Oh, I'd still want to go there.
Yeah.
I'm under no illusion that it's possibly. I mean, it's less impossible now. We
Yeah.
have the NXT UK stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I really just want to kind of make a name for myself here,
Yeah.
and then see where it takes me, I suppose.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to have it, because no one could come predict where they're going to be in the wrestling
No,
career.
of
It's
course not.
it's an unpredictable business, so the best thing you can do is just say, well, I'll just see where it takes me, pretty much,
Yeah, and like just put in the work, and then
and then hopefully it pays off in
if
some
it
way. or
takes me
another.
somewhere, it takes me somewhere, and then if it doesn't, then I just need to work a little bit harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if it doesn't, then to work out what you need to change, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So, how long do you think you've been wrestling for at this point?
Oh gosh, I started training in 2015.
Okay.
I didn't fully start doing outside shows until, as in like not for my own promotion.
Oh yeah.
I say mine, it's not mine.
Basically,
it's run by someone else.
Basically, you didn't
My
start.
home
You didn't start to
promotion.
take promotions.
Outside
Take bookings outside the promotion that you trained with.
Yes, until I want to say kind of 2016. End
yeah.
of, maybe.
Yeah.
I might have done. Oh gosh, this is a really bad, because a lot of people write down their dates. and
Yeah.
what stuff
Oh,
they've done.
I don't. I've done
I
anything.
haven't done that. And then I was
Yeah.
having a conversation. I think it might have been at TNT with Zaya, and
yeah.
she was writing it all down in her little book, and she'd compared the first match we'd had
Yeah.
to the most recent one, and I was just really confused. I was like, I've not done anything. I wonder how much I've done.
Yeah.
And like everyone, I've seen posts from people who have done like 100 matches,
Yeah.
and then this is my 100th match. I don't know what it is because I've not written it down.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I would say I've been on other shows for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like my progress has been okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would prefer to be everywhere. That
Yeah.
would be, I think that's the goal for everyone, though.
Yeah,
I think
it's to be
I've
everywhere.
gone at my own pace, and obviously, I'm a student as well.
Yeah.
So I've just recently took like a month and a half out where
okay,
I've had
yeah.
to just not train and not do anything
Oh,
because
blimey, yeah.
I drove myself crazy. I spent a month and a half essentially either at home in my living room on my sofa writing assignments, or
Oh, God.
in my library, and I couldn't. As soon as I got back in the ring, I was like, oh, okay. As soon as I got back to the gym, I was like, oh, this is lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably about 2 years-ish. I'm really sorry. I do tend to divulge and kind of go off topic.
Oh, I always say that's the best way to put it, because I will apologise to frequent listeners, because I've said this now so many times, you're probably bored of hearing it, but I'll say it again. I don't want these interviews to be a really formal Q&A, like, sort of,
Yeah, of course.
because that's not only do I not enjoy doing that, that's so boring to watch.
Yeah.
So I always think it's better when you can, like, go off track and have a bit of a story in the answer. Like, if someone's better than me, than you saying, I've been training for 2 years. Okay, so next question then. Okay, that gives me a lot to work on then.
That would be a really short interview.
That'd be an extremely short, and probably wouldn't even be a loaded interview.
No.
So thank you for not being a sort of robot,
okay,
basically,
it's
sort
fine.
of being
I just talk a lot.
That's what I like. It makes my job easier as well. So what you said, it was 2016 that you started training properly, was it?
Yeah, I think I started in, I want to say June, maybe June-ish 2015. I was training for about 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I was on shows fairly early.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good.
And I work for my home promotion. I still work for them now.
Yeah.
I think I will always work for them.
Is that Fight Factory Wrestling?
Yeah,
Yes,
Fight Factory Wrestling UK. I will probably always work for them. They gave me
the chance, basically.
For this all to happen. So props to you guys.
Shout out to FFW there.
So maybe like I was training for about 6-7 months, and then I was on my first show. And to be fair, I came out as a valet at first, or like manager.
I think that's like a go-to starting position for any wrestler, isn't it? Like come out not competing,
just get used to the crowd, because that first time, honestly, I was the first time I properly kind of managed someone. So I was backstage and we'd had like a little segment, I suppose, where there was 4 of us in the ring. We had a little bit of a scrap or whatever it was, and then kind of disappeared. And I was stood backstage and Hayden turned to me, who's my trainer.
Hayden Dutch.
Hayden Dutch. So he turned to me and was like, so you're managing main event, right? I was like, no, definitely not doing that. And then he was just like, well, you are, because I've already spoke to the guys and you're doing it. Okay, so there I am, panicking backstage before I'm stood like, just stood there. I'm like, I can't do this. I really can't do this. I don't really know how to handle this. What am I doing? Why am I even here? And then, he kind of figured out that my key way of learning was just to put me in situations like that. So from then I mainly worked for them, and I think my first outside booking was in Leeds, I think. And then I've had kind of little spits and spats, so like I have busy moments and then I have a couple of months where I'm really quiet. Well, actually I'd prefer this to be busy too.
I think everyone would prefer just to be constantly busy.
I think that's how it is though. Like I think it's quite common to have like rammed dates and then just quiet. I do see that a lot when people will be working almost every day in a month, and then they'll do a month where they do one day and that'll be it. And it's such a weird feeling from, because like the atmosphere it shows as well, like you get so used to it, and then the next month you're just like, oh, this is really quiet, and I feel like I need to talk to somebody.
I think that I mean, I try to. I mean, there are shows that I can't do interviews at, like for Fight Club. I don't do interviews there because it's way too complicated. But even when I'm not doing interviews, I try to go to shows just to make sure that I'm always familiar with the atmosphere. Because if I didn't do a show for an entire month, I'll go into the oh my god, what am I doing now?
Honestly, it's the weirdest feeling. It's so strange.
You get used to it, and then when you don't do it, you have to get used to it all over again.
Yes,
and it takes too long.
It's so difficult, and especially like it's so hard to go from being at a show and having that atmosphere, and then especially if he's away or my housemates are away, then I go home, it's just dead silent.
Oh god.
And I'm like, oh, this is
weird.
Is
odd.
And that's just like a day, and then the night. This is all one day. So imagine like a month straight of like being constantly busy and then just quiet. It's such a roller coaster.
That would really throw you off. That really that would be so. It'd be really disorienting as well, because it'd be so weird to get used to. It'd be just a massive yo-yo effect, wouldn't it?
It's very strange. So like, I tend to like right now my dates are like kind of evenly spaced out, which is quite nice. So I don't really have a lot at the minute.
That is nice. So you mentioned that that when you first started doing shows, you're mainly working as a valet / manager person. So when was it, do you think, that you sort of transitioned from starting out, you know, being a sort of side character to then competing in ring and making your actual debut as a wrestler, not like a valet?
I think I had a match. I think it might have been Newark. It was a really small venue, and Hayden was like, "You're going to debut there," and I'm like, "Right, okay, cool." Absolutely crap in my pants. But I think that was. I want to say like May.
Yeah, it was May last year.
May 2016.
Oh, okay,
so that was then. That was like Fight Factory stuff.
I said, well, why did I assume it was May last year? I don't know why
last
you should have
May. 2008. No.
It's 2018.
I'm so bad with dates.
I've still been watching 2018 on anything that needs a date, and then it goes.
I just don't put the year on things. It makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. So it was what you said. It was in Newark that it was. You made your debut as a
The first
festival.
time I ever wrestled on a show was May 2016.
Yeah, and that was your first. And guys, were you working a heel or a babyface at that point?
I think it was heel because they'd put me in a faction, so I wasn't by myself.
Yeah. All right. So, leading off of that, right now, I will admit that I'm not too familiar with your work. I know that sounds really, really bad, but obviously, I've only ever seen bits online, obviously, because I've never seen you.
Please don't watch that. Honestly,
I needed to watch something before I did the interview, and I was going there thinking, what am I doing? I needed to have something to go off. So,
I get that. Okay.
So, alright, can I ask? Alright, so, alright. I think you worked heel more than you worked babyface. Yeah. So, but my question is, which do you find easier, or do you enjoy working more? Because I know that it's so mixed. Some people say they find it easier to annoy the crowd, and some people say it's so much easier to what's what I'm looking for?
Make them...
hype up the crowd. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So, what would you say for you, in your experience of, has been easier?
I think it depends, what kind of crowd you're working as well. Personally, I like doing both. I do. I find working villain a bit easier.
Yeah.
But
I think your gimmick plays into that really well as well, doesn't it? I'm your favourite.
Be a little bit arrogant.
Well, I think you need to be very arrogant to see about everyone's favourite, don't you?
It's not an assumption. No, I'm joking. I am joking. That was a joke.
Yeah.
No, so I think I prefer villain because I kind of use it as a little bit of a vent.
Yeah.
If someone, say you go into Starbucks and someone gives you the wrong coffee.
Yeah.
Well, that small little bit of anger, I'll just take that, pop it in my pocket, and then as soon as I'm out there,
that's really good.
You should have given me the right coffee.
I think that's really good. I mean, I've never heard of anyone using their sort of everyday pet peeves to sort of work up their
because I'm not really
character.
An angry person.
Yeah.
People might disagree, but I am genuinely a lovely person, so I think it's hard to be a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
So what I tend to do is just take little pet peeves, or a big pet peeve, and ball it up,
and just vent it out when you're out there. Yeah, I mean, it's so much easier to do that when you got a character to vent it as well, isn't it? Like when you've got a direction that you're going in, you can sort of vent in that sort of. I mean, obviously, it would make a whole lot of sense to vent about Starbucks on a wrestling show, but you can sort of.
I mean, I probably wouldn't shout at my opponent for giving me the wrong coffee, but I would use that little bit of anger.
You get some odd looks for doing that, wouldn't you? Yeah. So, alright. So, this is going to be I apologise. This will be quite a difficult question.
Okay. I love difficult questions.
Alright. So, in your time since your first match, working, what would you say has been not the best match you've been in, but your favourite match? And I want to say that I don't mean your favourite opponent.
Okay.
I mean the match that from your perspective you thought worked the best. The crowd was really invested in. You see what I mean? I do ask hard questions, don't I?
You do. I mean, that one is probably the most difficult one you've asked. So now I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'll make it easier. You can name a number of matches. I won't have you narrow it down to one because that will be quite difficult. So let's say 3 matches that instantly come to mind that you think worked fantastically well. And I don't mean in terms of your favourite opponent. Again, just
in general.
It flowed well, basically, and the crowd was invested in it, obviously.
I think the one that springs to mind most would be. Okay, I had a match with Kaylee Ray.
Oh my god!
British Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
And to date, she is. I mean, I know you said don't name opponents. But
you can name opponents.
She's the most favourite
person
to work
you've
with.
ever wrestled. Yeah.
Yes, unbelievable, so good. So it worked. It just flowed really well.
Yeah.
I did get kicked in the face, and I did bleed a little,
Oh,
a little bit. But do you know what?
That's what you want to hear, isn't it?
It was perfect, and that was my fault. That
Oh,
was
okay.
entirely my fault. So that's not any fault on her. But yeah, honestly, that one flowed so well. The crowd were really into it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the busted gum worked really well with it, even though it was unintentional.
God, so that makes me really because I'm not good with mouth things. I'm really bad with that. So that's
I
just.
have to show you some. Nah. So I think the other one would be, there was two other ones. So they're both at TNT.
Yeah.
I had
That's in Liverpool, isn't it? TNT?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I worked quite a lot on TNT Ignition, which is their kind of up brand.
Yeah.
To get newcomers and new faces in.
Yeah.
So I've worked pretty much every one of them actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which has been lovely. The first one would be the one with Zaya.
Yeah.
Because
in which
everything-
she made notes on your mat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Well, no, there weren't notes. She just wrote down what matches
okay, yeah.
she wrestled that day.
Oh, got to. Yeah.
So that one flowed really well, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it was nice because I was a babyface as well, so like it was different for me.
Yeah.
And then the other one was also there, and that was a triple threat against. Oh my god, there was two, and I remember one. It's just the other name, and I'm really bad for this.
I'm terrible with names, so I wouldn't worry about
I'm just
that.
gonna say. There was two of them. They were both from Ireland. They both worked for OT Taylor.
Setimosh Martina, just throwing a name out there.
No, they were guys.
Okay. John Devlin, again, just throwing a name out there.
No, it was LJ Cleary.
Oh, okay.
And this is really bad because I can't remember name. He was very good.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry. I mean,
I think his gimmick name was something like the Aviator, something.
that sounds familiar. I don't think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember his name either.
I'm so sorry. You are very good. Yeah. So it was. Bear with me.
You're gonna look on your phone, aren't you? I forget names. I'm really bad with names, so I wouldn't worry about that. Like the amount of times I've
So bad for it.
Oh, okay. I think names are. Most people are bad with names.
I did it
so.
today. I walked in, shook someone's hand, and introduced myself, and they're like, "We met 3 years ago."
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what. Right, I've had that so many times, right? And the issue is that I've got a lot of people on my Facebook that are in wrestling, but I've never met. So,
Yes.
I'll see them. They'll say, they'll say things like,
Curtis Murray.
Curtis Murray.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've just looked at his face on the picture, and there's no name, but I do remember the name.
Yeah.
So it was LJ Cleary and Curtis Murray, and it just flowed really well because Curtis's character does all this flyy stuff, and then LJ is just arrogant. Not in person, like he's lovely in person, but like his character work is unbelievable. So the crowd immediately hated him.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
always
then
really good.
The crowd
isn't
were
it?
really behind me, and it was just lovely, and it just worked really well. And there was a couple of cool little spots that I'd not really thought of.
Oh, okay.
And I'd never really done before, so it was just really fun to do as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would be my 3.
Oh, I'll say that's very. I mean, I'll say 3 very strong choices there, especially the Kaylee. I know I am showing some bias here, but I mean, Kaylee, I love Kaylee.
She's unbelievable. Like she's so talented, and she's so nice as well.
I know,
which is even better.
It was really weird. My first time seeing her at like Southside Wrestling, like 2016, and she was playing like a really arrogant heel, and then I spoke I spoke to her. It literally just can have a photo, basically, and she's really nice. And that was my first exposure, like to the sort of in independent wrestling. So I was really thrown by the drastic
contrast
between
the two
characters and the people.
crazy.
I was really thrown by that, so that really threw me off.
Honestly, I was terrified of her for a good few years, to the point where I do make a point of going up and shaking everyone's hand and introducing myself. But she scared me so much that genuinely for about a year, because I started going up to Southside shows just to watch, and I'd obviously go and say hello to everybody, but like, she was always in conversation. So I never really got to and I don't want to be that person that goes up and
I'm so bad at that.
And I'd go up there with my partner, and he'd obviously go off and do what he does. But I'd always just accidentally miss and not be able to like say hello.
Yeah.
So I kind of built it to the point where in my head, she'd gone, well, she doesn't want to shake my hand. In my head, I'm like, she hates me. And she didn't at all. It was just all in my head. And eventually, I'd built it up so much to the point. I was at one of the Southside shows, and I'd gone over. I was like, "Hi, I'm Chantal. Nice to meet you." And she obviously like spoke to her, and I was like, "Oh, well, that was easier than I thought." And it was nothing against her. It was just in my head. I was like,
you just really you built it up so much that you were just overthinking it, weren't you?
Yeah, I was honestly so scared.
Oh, I do that. So, I mean, there are people who I see like almost every show I go to that I've never met because I'm just terrified of seeing them. And I know I'll go to them, they'll probably be the best people ever, but I'm just so scared of them.
Honestly, I mean, 99.9% they're going to be lovely.
Oh, they absolutely will be, but it's because I've built up so much in my head. I just said, okay, they obviously don't want to talk to me, and I'm really shy. It's, so I won't, like, if they're in conversation, I won't ever go up to anyone.
Yeah, exactly, because you just don't want to be rude.
So
and be
I'll just sit there going, I'll just wait. And then I always miss the chance, so I never actually get to say hi, how are you doing? Which is really long, but there you go. So I'll ask one more question before we wrap this up, because I think we've gone for a long time now. So I want to apologise, because in your career, you've had your fair share of, you faced a variety of opponents, haven't you? So, but I want to ask, there's obviously a lot of people who you've not yet worked with, whether it's a tag match or a single match, whatever it is. So again, I'm not going to say single down to one, because that'll be quite a difficult thing to say. But I will say 3 people that come to mind for who you want to work with in a match. Not, I'm going to start. I mean, it can be triple threat, tag, singles, anything. You see people.
Is this restricted to anyone, or is it like just anyone?
It can be. I'd say keep it realistic. So don't be saying like I want to work with Sasha Banks, that sort of thing. So keep it. So
not like dream match, but like.
Okay, no. Actually, no. Okay, well, I'll two more questions then.
Okay.
So this one where name 3 people you want to work with, and then your dream match where you can say, and then actually for that one I will say like anyone dead, alive, whatever. So I'll just really run the horizon of that one then. So. But start off your 3 people who come to mind who you want to work with.
Okay. This one's a little bit biased.
Okay. Well, I think that's the point of it. It's to be a bit biased, isn't it?
No, this one's a bit biased because I have a high opinion of them because
okay.
I want to wrestle Robbie.
Oh, yeah. Robbie X? Yeah,
I want to wrestle Robbie.
Yeah. I wonder why that is.
I just want to beat him.
Fair enough.
Hold that over his head for the rest of our lives. No, I just think that he's got, and again, this is just from a wrestling point of view, I think his brain is so incredible when it comes to
like knowing
putting
what
things
to do
together and knowing where things should be and how things flow, and his footwork, I just think he's great. It's just unbelievable.
I think it's always really reassuring to have that in a match, so it takes the pressure off you as well, doesn't it? So you're not having to worry about, I mean, obviously you do still have to focus on that, but it means that you don't need to be don't need to be constantly thinking, okay, what am I going to do now, what am I going to do, because you can rely on them a bit more.
And I think I haven't really done lots of intergender matches, so I think if I would personally really trust him to keep me safe, but also push me to try new things that I wouldn't necessarily do on like a normal basis. This one. I have seen a lot of Jordan Grace lately.
Jordan, she's the New Progress champion.
Yeah.
She came out of nowhere.
She's unbelievable.
like.
I mean, she'd probably kick the living out of me, but
she kicked the living crap out of half the people she faces.
I think she's so good.
Yeah.
And I like that she has that strong style where she not necessarily like the typical strong style, but like she's so big and that she could literally just throw you around and like she's just legit.
I mean, she looks scary, and I mean that in the best way possible. I mean, she looks.
She's so agile as well. So I think I could learn a lot from her. Okay. See, this is difficult because I wasn't prepared for any of these questions. So I was like, right, I'm just going to go in and wing it.
Which, to be fair, I do in almost all of these. I think, right, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to improvise the entire thing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I'll delete it. And I'll never speak of it again.
I would like to wrestle. Just like to wrestle.
You like to wrestle, yeah.
Honestly, I think right now, and this isn't anything against anyone. Oh no, okay. So there's a girl on the show called Nightshade.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have wrestled her before, but this
Yeah.
was like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So I
So
think
when we're still sort of starting out, really.
Yeah, I think I'd like another match with her.
Yeah,
because
now that you're a bit more...
now I've got a bit more experience.
Yeah, and now that you're a bit more aware of how you work in the ring, how she
yeah,
works,
I think like because the matches we had, they flowed really well.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good answer, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with that.
Okay.
It's really hard because I don't want to offend anyone.
I don't...
But like...
Yeah, well, I mean, the issue is that there's so many people
Yes,
in wrestling to
and
do
then you
something.
put me on the spot, and
Yeah,
now
and I
my
mean-
head can't think of anyone that
I mean, it's thing. I don't think anyone. I mean, if people are offended that you didn't choose them, then they're just overly sensitive, frankly, because
I mean, they
you
probably
can't
wouldn't be offended,
choose everyone, can you? That's just ridiculous. You can't say. I mean, if you narrow it down, you can't choose to wrestle everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, bear in mind, not only how many people are like mine, but the amount of people breaking in from training to,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't live long to wrestle everyone, so
No, you do
it would
not.
be impossible
No.
to be fair to everyone. So I don't think you could have been anything else but slightly biased towards that one. So
Yes.
I don't think anyone can blame me for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So now we'll ask you now your dream match, because this is
I mean, this one's obvious. Anybody who knows me
Yeah.
knows that if Gail Kim wasn't in retirement,
Yeah.
that would be my absolute dream match. Just because she was the reason I got into this.
yeah,
And I love how she worked. And she's just so good.
yeah,
And she was my idol from
Yeah.
day one. And like, I even used the finishing move. That was my finishing move when I first started out.
oh yeah,
I've modified it slightly now.
yeah,
But yeah, so I think definitely her,
Yeah.
because of that, really.
That's
And then when
yeah.
she went into retirement, I was gutted. And then I found out that she had a match at Southside, and I was like, oh my god,
I need to go to this.
And I know you shouldn't really be too much of a. I mean, should you be too much of a fan? I
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
know.
I'll say-
But like, I was absolutely adamant. I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Something happened, and I couldn't make it, and I was devastated.
yeah. Oh no.
Gutted.
I think the minute you stop thinking I really want to go is a minute you're doing wrestling wrong basically. I think if you're not a fan, if you're doing it because you need the money, then just stop doing it basically.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be a fan of this in order to make a living out of it. It ain't gonna work the other way. You can't come into thinking I want a job so I'll do wrestling. You think
No, I think the passion behind it makes you a better
yeah, so I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I'd embrace the inner fangirl.
Yeah, I mean, I'd keep her hidden quite
Yeah.
well. And then every so often, yeah, it comes out.
Yeah. Well, they say there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I fanboy massively over Millie McKenzie, and people know that. I make no secret of
I'm
that.
aware
So
of this. I'm going to take over, you know. Everybody's favourite.
everybody's saying, well, we'll see after the tonight, because this will be my first time seeing you properly. So we'll see
Yeah,
how you
hopefully
hold
it's a
up
lot
to
better than those videos. Look, everybody starts somewhere.
That's
okay?
true, and I mean, the videos that I saw, they are banned in any way.
No,
I mean,
they're just
I mean, the thing is, we're all self-critical, aren't we? We all say,
Oh, I'm so critical. Anything, even if the slightest thing goes wrong in my matches.
Yeah.
I used to be really bad for it, and I used to beat myself up about it quite
Yeah.
a lot. But I think, like, over time, it might have been Kingsley, actually. I was
Yeah.
at a show, and there was a tag match, and something went wrong in my match. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But I was sat backstage, and I was so moody.
oh no.
And Kingsley was like, look, and obviously he called me back, Chantal.
Yeah.
But like, he was like, look, you need to just chill out, because
Yeah.
people aren't going to want to be around you.
Yeah.
So calm you down, like just calm down.
Yeah.
And things happen. And I
Yeah.
think from that moment, that was a bit of a realization for me. Like,
Yeah.
it is obviously, you want it to go perfect.
Oh, you do, yeah.
But it's never going to, and if it does,
Yeah.
then you're pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a learning curve. I mean, you can't expect everything to. I mean, it's wrestling; nothing ever goes to plan completely. But I think as long as you don't beat yourself up about it, as long
Yeah.
as you don't actually talk yourself out of doing wrestling again because of it. I think that's when it becomes an issue. Like, I've made so many mistakes in these, but I just...
Well, hopefully this one... Please don't give me any hate.
Oh, well, no. I mean, I think this is one of my smoother running ones. So,
Okay.
I mean, the first ones I ever did were absolutely abysmal. But, I mean, I only got to learn from what you do wrong as well. So,
Yeah, of course.
if you don't learn from them, then you're never going to move forward. And I've learned from these, and you've learned from your... Well, I would assume you've learned from your past mistakes and tried to be on that.
I don't have as much of like a stone face anymore.
Yeah. That's what I was going to think, that you need a bit of emotion. That's a good thing,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you for joining me. I think I have overworked your time. We've been going for quite some time. So, alright, but I will finish off by allowing you to plug your social medias.
Oh, that is incredible.
Which I always do, because I'm generous like that.
I mean, this would be incredible if I could remember my Twitter.
Well, don't worry.
so
If you can't, then there'll be a sort of title card on the screen, like around Chantal's corner, where there'll be her Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and any other social things she has.
I know my Instagram is official Eliza Roux with nothing in between.
Yeah.
I think my Twitter is Eliza_Roux.
Yeah.
And then my Facebook's just Eliza Roux. I don't really have anything else.
Oh, that's really easy. Thank you. That makes it much easier for me to go and
really basic names.
That's really. Thank you so much. No idea how long it takes me to find people's links, because I'm there forever not being able to spell their name. So.
Oh no, mine's dead simple. It's the pronunciation of it.
Yeah.
That people get. Like, I think at one show someone was like Roux. I was like, no.
Yeah, well,
just
I mean,
kangaroo, just Roux.
I was pronounced it Eliza Roux until
That's okay.
Until I saw your thing on Facebook. It said Eliza Roux. Oh right, okay, I need to remember that for your interview then.
It's fine, honestly, it is fine.
Anyway, so
And I'm
thank
still
you.
talking, so
Yeah,
I'll
don't worry. Thank you for joining me. So
okay.
so there'll be a thing on screen. Well, there will have been one when she was plugging her social medias. There'll be links as well. So if you can't find them by searching them, then I'll link them in the description anyway. I'll be back very shortly. I just need to give the camera some more juice with Niwa next after I've tried out the camera.
Stealing his time.
Yeah.
I'll go now.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining me,
It's
and
okay.
this will be up some point this month, basically. Not sure when, but anyway, thank you, and I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Bye.